What is abundance? Well, when I ask the question, what is abundance? There's a lot of people that are speaking about abundance on YouTube, presentations, seminars, webinars, podcasts. There are books, ebooks, information sources out there that speak about abundance. What I'm referring to in regards to abundance here and now through this sharing is about shadow work. It's about looking at the parts of ourselves that are disconnected from source and transforming the lead into gold. Abundance is my idea that I have channeled as an individual 20 years ago. I am aware that this is something that can link into the collective, as I have discovered a truth within me that's individuated. It's sovereign, it's divine. And I seek to inspire those who feel what it is that I speak about to join in collaboration as we move together on this path of liberated and enlightened nature. So I'd just like to add something in regards to what is abundance by expressing a particular mindset linked to an emotional state. And what this is if I don't believe that I have something inside me playing out an ignorant, disconnected behavioral attribute, I can't change it. So if we don't take responsibility for what we're creating via our own projection, because we say it's another, this is buying into and participating in the game of scarcity. What is wrong with looking at yourself and saying there is something ignorant, there is something unconscious inside that's playing out a particular pattern that is not serving either me nor anyone else? It is keeping me in limitation, restriction, and allowing me to be controlled as I control. So there's just some food for thought that I'd like to share as a precursor to what it is that I aim to bring through as we move further along abundance presentations. When I'm referring to abundance being a resonant state of being, what I'm saying is that abundance has been there the whole time. It's a frequency that exists outside space and time, our chronological history, to be accessed whenever we're ready, so that we can then begin to experience something resembling paradise rather than something representing suffering and sacrifice and toil and trouble, where we're witnessing the haves and the have-nots and the injustice and the separation and the judgment. It's a reality that exists which has other words associated with it, heaven, Shambhala, being some of those words. So my goal, my aim, is to initiate the understanding, the recollection of the memory hidden within ourselves, to be able to go to these places and not be stuck on this broken record of scarcity, samsara, where we're given a conformist reality of what we are told to adopt as the truth, which feels painful in our hearts. So this isn't the choice that I'm making, and I'm encouraging other people also to walk this path back to their truth, back to what feels inside of the heart, warm and fuzzy. Even if we have to go through a little bit of pain and sadness, anger, remorse, visiting those unpleasant parts of ourself, we can turn it around, we can change it. Getting back to a resonant state of being. It's about a benevolence that exists from the source. I use the source because I don't need to use any religious buzzwords. It's very simple and everybody can adopt it for themselves, their source. When we are in resonance with this source and have let go of fear, which I stipulate as false evidence appearing real, we are at a frequency whereby manifestation, particularly of the joyful state, is effective and instantaneous as well. What we feel in our heart, what brings us joy, what brings us passion, manifests around us, independent of money, independent of materialism, of haves. I have many cars, I have many investment properties, I have a high-paying job, I have a hot girlfriend, boyfriend. It's all superficial, materialistic illusions. It's not the truth of who we are. And if we were to strip away those parts of us that feed those realities, creating a persona which is attached to the ego, being that part of each and every one of us that is the storehouse and the memory point of trauma from past timelines. We can go into that part of ourselves, dismantle those belief systems and align ourselves with the resonant frequency of abundance, manifesting a paradise blueprint, manifesting things that bring joy and happiness and laughter amongst ourselves and our surrounding communities, where we can be connected to other kingdoms, the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom, the elemental kingdoms, the subtle kingdoms that are currently off limits because a human being is very disrespectful and does not have an awareness and understanding of other realities they may be affecting, nor ready to take responsibility for seeing that inside of themselves. By reminding people of abundance being a resonant state of being and finding ourselves in attunement with that, we will become sensitive to these realities and adjust our energy accordingly, so that once again we can experience something of a greater perception than what is currently being on offer. We will see that we have imposed our own limitations, and by taking responsibility to unimpose them is resonating ourselves with the frequency of abundance. The energy and the information of what abundance consists of came through to me at least 20 years ago. And when I was in year 10, I did a sculpture of a ball, like you could get these plastic balls from the supermarket. I did a sculpture of the ball representing the earth, and I made a knife as well, and the knife went through the ball to signify that the earth was in pain and suffering and torture and torment. So I always felt like there was a certain level of urgency as to how we would go about turning around what's happening on this planet at the moment. So abundance being an enlightenment protocol is about a call to angels. It's about getting as many people who are willing to look at themselves, mobilized, do that work together, form pods, form communities, bubbles, whatever you want to call them, of support networks, and start really going into the stuff that exists inside of us that's feeding and fueling samsara. Because none of us really want to stay here on this loop of samsara, who are becoming conscious and in touch with our spirit and the passion that exists inside of us. So I'm calling us all together in the capacity that I know how to, through this information, which I'll expand on as we go further, to be able to empower those who have extraordinary abilities inside of themselves to bring about peace, ecstasy, and a paradise blueprint. I'm not too sure of any other enlightenment protocols, procedures other than abundance at this time. There are really amazing projects that are happening and incredible networks that are linking in between all of these projects. But this is specifically something to activate and enlighten as many people as possible through intensive shadow work processes. Many people would ask, well, how are these processes going to come about? They'll come about naturally and organically. Everyone has within themselves everything that they need to get through whatever it is that they have inside of them. There's nothing that we can't handle, that we don't contain, that we're not able to transform as alchemists. So that's what's going on when I'm explaining and expressing to everyone about abundance being an enlightenment protocol. Now, a lot of people would look at enlightenment and say, well, you know, you're enlightened. What makes you think that's so special? The thing about enlightenment is it's not special. It's actually quite painful at this time to be enlightened, because you become aware of things that are going on within the human consciousness that appear to be somewhat fear-based, violent, unloving, and harmful to the greater potential of who we are and what we're capable of achieving. So if we get people enlightened en masse, we're not getting people to turn away from what's actually going here on the planet in terms of mining, forestation, poisoning populations, instigating pharmaceuticals upon people who don't choose to have pharmaceuticals, outlawing herbs. All of these things are abominations in the face of truth. And when we can stand together in our sovereignty, in the belief in who we are, by releasing and removing the belief in who we're not, we can actively engage in this enlightenment protocol.